The House Justice Committee will resume today the impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte. Good morning. I'm Attorney Karen Jimeno, and this is At the Forefront. The impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte will push through today. This after the Duterte camp failed to get a temporary restraining order from the Supreme Court. Some say this should be set aside and government should tackle the more pressing matter of the ongoing oil crisis. But some lawmakers say holding a public official into account is equally important. To help us analyze this, we'll be speaking with Attorney Salvador Panelo. He's a former Chief Presidential Legal Counsel. Good morning, Attorney Sal.
Good morning, Attorney Karen.
Okay, so today is the House Justice Committee hearings on Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment.
You mean the moro-moro?
You call it the moro-moro?
Yeah.
Bakit naman?
Oh, they've already decided on that. It's a foregone conclusion. They will transmit it to the House of Reps, and the House of Representatives will transmit it to the Senate.
Well, House Assistant Majority Leader and Lanao Representative Zia Alonto Adyong said the impeachment hearings could also provide Vice President Sara Duterte an opportunity to answer allegations against her.
So he doesn't call the trial in the Senate not an opportunity to present evidence?
So you're saying dapat yung trial, yung gagawin nila today, gagawin sa Senate?
Of course.
So you're also supporting the allegation of the Duterte camp that this is a mini trial?
Of course. In the first place, it came from them. It's them they're saying, the Committee on Justice.
That word that
spoken
yes.
by the chair.
Oo,
Diba, siya
Chairman
mismo,
Luis Straw.
Galing sa kanya yun eh. Pagkatapos ngayon, tatanggi-tanggi sila. Yan ang problema sa kanila.
Oo. And I guess for those watching, why would a mini trial, if this does indeed constitute a trial, why would that be unconstitutional?
Eh kasi, you have to determine only a probable cause. You don't need a mini trial for that. So the evidence are submitted and you decide whether or not there is probable cause or not.
Pero hindi ba nalilito na rin ang Congress as to what they should be doing considering the decision of the Supreme Court when before they didn't conduct these proceedings, the Supreme Court held the impeachment to be unconstitutional and they laid out what would be the requirements for due process.
I don't think nalilito sila o tuliro sila. I think they want to use that as a forum, a platform for free publicity. They want to project themselves. Alam na naman nila yun eh. Pati tayo pinag-loko ninyo eh.
Pero kung magkakaroon din naman ng trial sa Senate, bakit hindi na lang nila ipadala sa Senate itong impeachment?
Exactly. Yun nga ang palagi kong sinasabi sa aking programa. Padala nyo na yan, magkaalaman na. Tapos sinasabi na, akala ko ba gusto niya ng blood bath, ba't siya nag-file ng certiorari? Kasi nga, kayo nang gugulo eh. Kaganda-ganda na, alam niyo na naman na makakapasa yan. Ba't di nyo pa ituloy? Para matapos na yan. But, alam mo, eleksyon eh, 2 years from now, kailangan nila yung platform. Kailangan nilang gamitin ang platform para siraan si Inday Sara, i-bully na naman yung mga resource persons dyan. Alam mo na, yung style nilang bulok.
And you don't think that's going to backfire? I mean, do they have enough votes in Senate right now to just outright impeach Vice President Sara?
I've been saying that Committee on Justice will file that, transmit it to the plenary, and the plenary will vote. Not the 215 votes that they had before, but definitely papasa. But pagdating sa Senate, wala. Absuelto yun.
Kaya palagay mo, dito na lang ginagawa yung trial sa Congress, sa House of the Representatives.
Correct.
The Vice President's husband, Attorney Meneses Carpio, has filed a petition before the Quezon City RTC seeking to prevent the BIR from submitting their tax records to the House Committee on Justice. Do you think he will get a favorable ruling? Kasama kasi ito dun sa mga nasubpoena.
That depends sa court. Pero in the first place, dapat di sila nag-i-issue ng subpoena. They're fishing for evidence. Wala silang ebidensya siguro. Kaya kung kinukuha nila ng salin, kung ano-ano pinagkukuha nila.
Oo nga. But, di ba, ang rule dapat, or at least my understanding is, at the House Justice Committee level, when you say finding of sufficiency
substance,
of form and substance, that
Tapos
would
na.
mean you go, but it's within what was filed in the complaint, including what the attachments were. Pero, hindi sila yung nagpapa-subpoena dapat.
Correct. Tsaka, isa pa, sabi nila, di ba sabi ng Supreme Court, bigyan kayo ng due process. Ba't kayo nagre-reklamo? Bigyan kayo ng due process. Therefore, getting due process means give them a chance to present evidence for themselves or defend themselves. But if they do not want, they waive it. But that's still due process. The opportunity should be given to any respondent. Yan ang sinasabi ng due process.
But in this case, since the Quezon City RTC was sought to provide a remedy in terms of preventing the House Justice Committee from obtaining the tax records of Attorney Manscarpio, do you think based on legal merits that he would prevail or he should prevail?
Well, if I were a judge, I would deny it.
Deny
Deny the request for a subpoena.
of the House Justice Committee. So you think there are legal grounds to prevent the House Justice Committee from
Yes, kasi nga,
obtaining
hindi
these
naman,
records?
that's not the forum for that. Dapat noong pa nila, meron na silang ebidensya. Hindi ngayon lang sila kumukuha. Kasi nga, they want to use that platform for themselves and against Inday Sara.
Pero kung ganun, hindi ba pwedeng gawin niya ng complainants to find these records as well and present it as evidence here in the House Justice Committee or eventually at the Senate?
Exactly, dapat nga yun na priniset na nila yun kasi nga wala silang may present. Kaya pinapokus sila kay Madriaga. Tama yung sinasabi ng anak kong si Atty. Paulo. Naku, tuwan-tuwa kami, ipipresent niya yan. Masisira kayo lahat yan. Kasi nga, all the allegations of Madriaga have been rebutted, disputed by documentary evidence, by testimonial evidence. Bagsak talaga sila dyan. It will blow up on their faces.
So you're not worried that Madriaga will be presented in the House Justice Committee hearings? We're expecting him to be there today.
I think the Committee on Justice is now getting worried. Natatakot na sila ngayon, pero nandiyan na, tutuloy na lang nila.
Adjong stressed that the Justice Committee subpoenaed certified true copies of financial documents, tax records, and reports and other relevant evidence to uncover the truth. But as you said, and as what the Vice President's camp has also said, this seems to be a fishing expedition. Pero at what point can additional evidence be introduced?
Hindi na kailangan nga kasi the moment you file your complaint, dapat may mga ebidensya ka na. Kaya nga they will have to find whether it is sufficient in form or in substance. Kasi nga, on the basis of the evidence na binigay sa'yo, pwede na i-file. Yan naman si Adjong, di naman abogado. Mr. Adjong, tama na yung papasikat mo, hindi ka naman abogado. Pwede ba? Pag hindi ho kayo abogado, huwag na kayong pumasok sa teritoryo ng mga abogado.
So in your opinion, going by that argument, tama rin yung pag-dismiss nila doon sa naging impeachment complaint against President Bongbong Marcos when some of the impeachment complaints only had articles, news articles as attachments, at least one of them, ganun lang yung in-attach. But would you say that that's the same standard?
Yun naman moro-moro din yun Pakitang tao lang yun. Gawa-gawa rin nila yun Para kunyari, nag-file ng impeachment dito pero dinismiss namin kasi walang sustansya sa forma pati sa aligasyon. Lahat yan moro-moro
So, si Attorney Michael Powa was also subpoenaed and he is also expected to appear in the House Justice Committee hearing today. Do you think there's a risk that he will be detained eventually and be cited in contempt? Kasi ganun yung nangyari dun sa isa ring Chief of Staff ni Vice President Sara sa Office of the Vice President, kay Attorney Zuleika Lopez. And Attorney Michael Powa used to be the Chief of Staff of Vice President Sara as someone from when she was still Deputy Department of Education Secretary.
Well, given the recklessness of the Committee on Justice, it may just do that. But, pag ginawa nila, may problema na naman sila. Lalong magagalit ang tao sa kanila.
But pag naisip natin na yung nangyari dati kay Attorney Zuleika Lopez, when she was detained, that's what triggered Vice President Sara to rant. And eventually, it's what made her utter pati yung
Yung imagined crime.
imagine crime. Well, diyan, maraming pa rin hindi nag-agree kung talagang grave threats yun, di ba? Against the president
Yung mga hindi
and the first
nag-agree,
lady.
mga anti-inday yun. Pero kung objective ka, kahit anong tingin mo, on all fours, wala talaga.
Yeah.
Crime.
But you're not worried that that might also push the buttons of the Vice President if they detain Attorney Michael Poa and, lead her to do something that would, constitute ranting publicly katulad ng nangyari in the
I do not
past?
think so.
So, kahapon, in your column, you wrote an article entitled Political Opportunists and Sycophants Abound. And you said that
there's so many of
politicians shift alliance to advance their own interests. Do you think that the announcement of Vice President Sara that she will run for president in 2028 triggered what you call political opportunists and sycophants around her? But before you answer this question, we'll have to take a short break. At the Forefront, we'll be right back. Welcome back at the Forefront. We continue our conversation with Attorney Salvador Panelo. Attorney Sal, just yesterday you wrote an article in your column entitled Political Opportunists and Sycophants Abound. And meron ka mga blind item dito, but we can kind of tell who they are. But do you think the political opportunists that you're referring to that surround Vice President Sara now were triggered by her announcement that she will run for president in 2028?
I wouldn't say trigger, I would say hasten. It hastened it. Because kahit na hindi na in-announce yan, alam naman nilang tatakbo siya. Lahat ng lingwahe ng kanyang katawan shows she's going to run. Kaya yung mga yan, nagpiprepare na yan. Yung mga iba, 2 years pa ang eleksyon, dilipat na. Para hindi masyadong alita. Yung iba naman, will try to enjoy the benefits, the largest coming from the administration. Kaya 1 year before, saka sila babaliktad.
So palagay mo mayroon pa, marami pa doon sa BBM administration ngayon na babaliktad eventually?
Sabi ko nga, doon sa column ko, di ba, yung last paragraph, their tribe is increasing by leaps and bounds.
But kahit na blind item po yung style ng article mo, we can guess who you are referring to based on the descriptions. We have Senator Amy Marcos, former Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez, former Justice Velasco and his son, former Congressman Lord Velasco, Attorney Harry Roque. Just given the personalities you mentioned as like political opportunists, do you think that Vice President Sara sees them as political opportunists who are merely using her for her supporters or for her being a frontrunner in 2028?
Number one, I never mentioned the names you
Yes,
mentioned.
kami yung we gather from the description. Ito yung mga pero kung ito nga yun, kung ito yung mga yun.
They feel alluded to, hindi ko kasalanan yun. Because, the description of everyone there applies to everyone who is an opportunist. Di ba? Lahat naman para-pareho. Para-pareho ang ginagawa nila. Pag malapit nang mawala ang power holders, lilipat na yan. Yeah. Meanwhile, nag-i-enjoy sila sa panahon na nandiyan pa. Kaya applicable lahat yan.
Oo. Pero for Vice President Sara,
it could refer to anyone, not necessarily those persons you
well,
mentioned.
I encourage people to read it and let's see kung pareho yung kanilang guesses in
Kasi
terms of what we gather.
Iba rin ang sinasabi.
Ayun sa hula nila kung sino. But do you think si Vice President Sara has the political intuition and insight to see them as opportunists based on your description of yung ugali ng mga opportunista and how will she protect herself from people like this?
Let us just say she's an intelligent person. So she knows who and how do they do it. Alam niya yun?
So,
Marunong, if they can play the field, she can.
and out of curiosity, what's your take on former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo? I know, wala naman siya sa mga description na sinulat mo, but Is she an opportunist or
No.
do you see her as a loyal friend to the
No.
Vice President?
Ayan, matino yan si Presidente Arroyo. Sincere.
So sincere ang kanilang
Sincere
friendship.
yan. Kaya pag sinabi niyang hindi siya interesado sa speaker, totoo yan. Katunayan, I don't think siya magiging speaker. Most likely si Ronnie.
So pero meron kang nakikitang potential change na naman
Marami
sa
ako
speakership.
nakausap na kongresista. Mukhang si Ronnie ang ipapalit nila. Yung NUP. Kasi ang dami na nang pumunta sa NUP.
So yung yung pinag-uusapan na attempted coup sa Congress to change the speakership to former President GMA, hindi totoo?
Sa tingin ko, kasi doon sa mga nakausap kong kongresista, they said they have the numbers.
To change the speaker?
Nag-aantay lang sila. Yung tamang panahon.
Ombudsman Boying Remulla recently said that they will file plunder charges against former Speaker Martin Romualdez, who is the President's cousin. Palagay niyo ba mangyayari ito?
In my show, sabi ko, dalawa lang yan. Either nilalaglag niya na si Martin or nagmumuro-muro na naman kayo, you're going to file a weak case para ma-dismiss.
Pero non-bailable ang
Kahit pa.
plunder.
Pag non-bailable, file ka ng petition for bail. Mahina ang ebidensya, o di grant.
So papasok sa exception where
Muro-muro lahat yan.
bail can be granted.
It's all for show.
What would be the effect on President Bongbong Marcos if he fails to jail the big fish involved in the flood control scandal?
Edi lalong his rating will plummet more. Plummeting down, lalong babagsak.
Pag-usapan naman natin yung recent developments with...
Akala ko yung health niya.
Oo nga, ano ba yun? Fake news.
Alam mo, no amount of jumping jacks or pretending that you're healthy will escape the perception. Kasi nakikita siya eh. Di ba, one time kasi nakasabay ko siya sa isang wake. I was shocked when I saw him. Medyo naawa ako kasi halos di siya makalakad. Nalalayan siya. Tapos bumagsak ang mukha niya, bumagsak ang katawan niya eh. Sabi ko, may sakit ito. Whatever, kung ano man sakit. Kaya
Baka
dapat,
naman sa stress.
ang problema kasi, ang Malacanang, hindi sila transparent. Kaya ang daming chismis, ang daming spekulasyon, kasi they created the problem themselves. Dapat kasi nagpapalabas na sila ng medical bulletin. Wala namang masama doon na sabihin nila. In fact, between us, I prayed for his health. Kasi presidente siya eh. Whether siya hindi ako hanga sa kanyang pamamahala, tao pa rin yan, mamamayang Pilipino, saka presidente siya.
He's the leader of our country. Yeah.
O kaya pagdasal natin.
So, ngayon naman merong development with Davao City Mayor Sebastian Baste Duterte being officially appointed as the president of the Partido Demokratikong Pilipino or PDP-Laban. One, how will this affect VP Sara's presidential bid? And is this an indication na yung sinabi ni ACT Teachers Representative Antonio Tino that Baste Duterte seems to be the plan B if Vice President Sara Duterte is impeached? He's the plan B to run for president in 2028.
Wala. Hallucinating lang yan si Tino. Wala silang alam dyan. Tsaka, yung pagiging presidente niya, matagal na yan eh. He already assumed the presidency of the PDP-Laban. Noong pa kasi nag-resign na yan si Senator Robin, ayaw niya na eh. Kaya pumasok na nga siya. Parang pinormalize lang nila yun.
So hindi to indication ng other plans? Palagay mo hindi siya...
Saka alam po ninyo, yung mga ganyang politika, depende yan sa sitwasyon eh. Kung anong mangyayari, hindi pa natin 2 years pa, mahaba pa eh. So if anything happens, ang daming senaryo po pwede mangyari. So ang tao ang magsasalita kung sino ang kukunin nilang presidente at vice president.
You don't think it's a remote possibility na maaring si Mayor Baste Duterte ang pumalit kung sakaling maging disqualified si Vice President Sara?
What did you say? Possibility?
Yes.
If you speak of possibilities, then sky's the limit. Kung probabilities, yun, medyo hindi natin alam.
Oo. And after assuming the leadership of PDP, nagkaroon ng Rage Coalition, which includes Partido Reforma, Reform PH, and during this coalition, the other personalities present were, apart from Mayor Baste Duterte, Senators Christopher Bongo, Senator Robin Padilla, and Congressman Paulo Marcoleta. So is this an indication that the coalition will continue to grow? Kasi meron na tayong Partido Reforma and Reform PH.
Alam po niyo sa akin yung mga coalition na yan. Okay yan, maganda yan. Pero ang taong bayan pa rin ang may hawak ng tagumpay o pagkabigo ng isang kandidato. Given the situation now, kahit na walang mga coalition, panalo si Inday Sara.
At hindi ka na worry na merong dark horse in the horizon?
Wala, there's sinong dark horse?
Or Lenny Robredo.
No, I don't think VP Lenny will run. Natalo na siya. Ayaw niya nang masaktan ulit. Tsaka nga, alam niya naman ang sitwasyon.
You mean, what's the situation?
The situation is talagang si Inday Sara ang destined to be president.
Okay, lastly, Kiko Barzaga. He's a known Duterte ally. He has already said that he will support Vice President Sara in 2028. Just yesterday, a court issued a warrant of arrest against him for 8 counts of cyber libel, and he surrendered to the Cavite police. Do you think that there's basis for him to say that this is political persecution, or is there really, this was really a long time coming na dahil sa mga sinasabi niya publicly?
Well, ang tingin ko kasi Kiko nagpapakilala. Gusto niyang makilala ng taong bayan for future forays to the electoral offices that he might want to occupy. Pero dahil bata pa, saka hindi rin siya lawyer, so meron siya mga utterances na baka you're crossing the line.
Hindi calculated or ano.
Kaya
hindi yan.
nandemanda siya.
Oo.
But sa tingin ko, dahil bata pa siya, gusto niya yun. Lalo siya makikilala.
And lastly, because we're out of time, so very quickly lang, si Kiko Barzaga, his father endorsed Vice President Lenny Robredo then.
Noon yun.
Oo. Si Kiko, do you think he's a political opportunist? Based on how you classify people dun sa column mo yesterday, political opportunist or sincere supporter of Vice President
Yes, I
Sara?
said he's young and he wants to project himself. That's opportunism for himself to be known. Not necessarily the opportunism I have in mind using other people to enjoy the benefits of being with them as friends or alliance or allies.
So in short, hindi siya yung katulad ng mga minention mo sa column mo na tumatalon-talon sa mga administration
Hindi,
to reap the
tingin ko,
benefits of funding.
Bata pa yan, ang alam ko, pasaway na ron siya sabi ng kanyang mga kamag-anak Pero nakakatawa naman siya.
Okay, thank you so much, Attorney Sal, and we hope to have you back again as the impeachment develops.
Okay, thank you for having me, Attorney Karen.
Many see the impeachment process of Vice President Sara Duterte as an attempt to remove her from the 2028 presidential race. If the impeachment fails, will politicians gravitate towards the VP who is currently the frontrunner in 2028? Will the Marcos administration's failure to properly address the flood control scandal trigger a loss in political capital? These developments not only shape individual careers, but the direction of Philippine politics in the years ahead. Be informed, be insightful of the news. I'm Attorney Karen Jimeno. Always stay at the forefront.